Good afternoon, this is Jim Lakey with news and announcements for St. John, Kansas. We're broadcasting on cable channel 9 and sandylandcenter.org, our website. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of August. It's 80 degrees at the bank at noontime, and we're having a partly cloudy day today with isolated thunder showers, the high temperature 90, and a 30% chance of rain. Where tomorrow, again, isolated thunder showers, 89, the high temperature with a 30% chance of rain. And then Friday, scattered thunderstorms, 90 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. And then for the weekend, plenty of sun. Sunny both Saturday and Sunday, 94 on Saturday, 96 on Sunday. Well, we have no birthdays to announce for today, but for tomorrow, happy birthday to Tyler Clark, and happy anniversary to Dawn and Suzanne Hildebrand. We hope you all enjoy your special days. Well, I know lots of people have been waiting, and we now will have our interview with Brenda Reno, who's the president of the Main Street City organization, and she's going to tell us about the things that made it necessary for the Main Street folks to vote to discontinue membership in the Main Street organization. So just right now we'll go to Brenda Reno, who'll give you the complete story so you won't have to just know what the rumors are. Good afternoon, this is Jim Lakey, and we're here at Channel 9, and we have Brenda Reno with us, and I'm going to ask her, and I'll just ask her, what are some of the things that happened last week? We had a meeting about the Main Street organization, and we're hoping you're going to fill us in so we won't just be dependent on gossip.
Well, that's always a good idea, Jim. Thank you for having me here. I am currently serving as the president of the Main Street organization, and we had a meeting on July 24th. This meeting came about after a letter went out to all the board members and the membership, talking to them about some of the issues that we're currently facing with the Main Street program as it is. The letter spelled out in detail some of the issues as we see it, and then they were allowed to vote whether they wanted to keep the Main Street organization or to move into something else. At the meeting, there was quite a few proxy votes as well as attendance, and the result of the meeting, the vote was to not remain in the Main Street organization. I say that, I want you to know that this decision to even discuss not being in the Main Street organization was a very emotional one. It came after a lot of thought process and a lot of discussion. We're in on the beginning of becoming a Main Street designated city, and so you're well aware of all the time and effort that went into that by the citizens of this community, and we were so lucky to have been granted such a prestigious, designation as Main Street, St. John Main Street City. But the time as time has evolved, things have changed, and I guess we have to go with the flow and change with the times, because the Main Street designation does not seem to be working for our city at this time. And some of those reasons are because the Main Street approach calls for the 4-point approach committees. And then there's a 9-member board, plus we have to have an executive director. And frankly, I mean, our volunteer base has gotten so low that we can hardly man the committees. The board is doing everything. We have tried to increase the volunteer base, but as you know, being a volunteer yourself, that it's very hard, and you end up asking the same people over and over again. They enlist their family members, and after a while people burn out, and they just simply don't want to do it anymore. The current board that we have, I will say, most of us are kind of burned out too. We've been doing it a long time without much help, and We think that perhaps there is something better, you know, for our community. So what we would like to do, and the way we will be moving forward, is that we either want to move into a downtown association, which is the KDDA, which we're researching further, or go ahead and organize another nonprofit organization that, and name unknown at this time, where we can work to benefit our community, the businesses in our community, like we have been doing with some of the very same events and programs, but just under a different designation. That way we don't have to have an executive director. We can use some of those funds that have been spent on salary in other ways. And then also we can encompass the entire community. You know, with Main Street, the downtown is your designated area. And I think that we need to try to do justice to all the business and all the community. And a different venue would certainly allow us to do that.
Well, I know that there were a few others beside yourself and I at the meeting who were on the original
Yes, there were.
team, and we were very sad to have
That's right.
to see it go, but I think we all agreed that there was just no way we could reasonably meet the demands of having the full committee staffed and enough people on the board. And the board is supposed to rotate, and people aren't supposed to succeed themselves, and
That's
yet you
correct.
couldn't find anybody else to
That's
do
right.
it, and you had to succeed yourselves. And so I can see, and I know everyone, I think, was sad that we had to give this up.
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, it wasn't a decision that came lightly at all, even to discuss it. And at the meeting, I know that you felt it too. I mean, especially the ones of us who had been on from the beginning. I mean, there is a feeling of sadness. But, you know, being a designated Main Street city really accomplished a lot for the city of St. John. I mean, it was through that designation that we were able to obtain the grants for the streetscape, which was a huge improvement to our downtown area. And then through that, we've also had the awning program and the revolving loan, several other things like the banners. I mean, there's been several visual things that we've been able to do, you know, for our city because of the Main Street designation. And then I think also, like with the housing grants and those types of things, the fact that we were designated is that it helped to be approved for those types of things as well. So, I mean, it has accomplished a lot for the city of St. John, and sometimes what it accomplished was behind the scenes and not just out visible, and I think lots of times there was some misunderstanding or misinformation about what Main Street was really about and what we, you know, were challenged to do. But, you know, it really is with every organization, it comes down to the people who are willing to volunteer. And we still do have some volunteers, and in fact, the 8 people that are remaining on the board are willing to go ahead and be on the board of this new not-for-profit organization. And, you know, bylaws will be written. It'll be a formal organization. It won't be loosely held. It will have officers. It will have a direction, you know, that we can follow. And I wanted to mention who those board members are in case you would like to visit with any of them and express any concerns, or, I mean, really, we would appreciate any and all ideas. And my spin on this always is, I mean, we'd like to hear from you, but we would like for you to offer solutions. We're probably not going to be too open to just complaining without some sort of solution to the complaint, because that is not productive at all. So if you have something you'd like to say and you have an idea, you know, something positive for us to move forward, we welcome that. Our current board members are Tammy Ramsey, Steve Freach, Missy Davis, Jonna Stanford, Vicki Falls, Rodney Chrisman, April Selfridge, and myself. And so we would, like I say, we'd be more than happy to visit. In fact, we're going to be having, and we'll be having something in the paper that will address this, we're going to be having a meeting to try to get formed and come up with some ideas, and that's going to be August the 28th at 7 o'clock at the Farm Bureau office. We will have information previous to this in the paper and all that type of thing, but we would, you know, we would like everyone to attend. We want you to be part of this community endeavor. You know, your community is only good as the people serving it, so we would welcome any and all volunteers.
And it seemed like some of the things that were mentioned before, and you've mentioned them now, is that it would be good if we could include all of the businesses.
Absolutely.
In the whole city.
Right, I agree.
Maybe even the ones on the edge of the city.
Oh, yes, we definitely would. I mean, our plan is to carry on. I mean, we will still have events and we will still have money-making projects, but we would like to include, you know, all the businesses in our town. Being from a small town, retail is non-existent. And the few that have managed to survive, we want to embrace them, as well as our service providers. I mean, we want to embrace all the businesses in the community and commend them and help them with surviving, because surviving in a small town is very difficult. And if we can help in any way, we would like to do that.
Another thing too is that sometimes the structure of the Main Street organization, which required extremely detailed work plans.
That's correct.
That would be done in committees and then adjusted at the board, and they were supposed to be done a whole year ahead of time. It seemed difficult to be spontaneous and to react quickly to some possibility that might occur that you didn't have a work plan
for.
Right,
that's correct, because there's no spontaneity with Main Street. It's all planned ahead, and like you said, I mean, it's all with work plans, and I think you do need a plan for success. I mean, you need to have some ideas in mind, and it doesn't hurt to have some of it in writing, but there was no flexibility there. And there's nothing wrong with structure, but sometimes you can have too much structure. And I think at this point, you know, we're ready to have a little more non-structured type, you know, organization.
Well, I think that if you folks out there that are listening, if you have suggestions, and the people who get listened to the best are the ones who have a good suggestion or who are ready to volunteer. And if this new organization can't use you and you want to volunteer, why, you can volunteer to help the Shepherd Center or the Second Chances or the Science Museum or a lot of other places that could use volunteers as well. And it's a noble thing to volunteer, and it achieves a lot more than what you might think for the community itself. Well, I want to thank you, Brenda, for coming in and facing the little one-eyed monster over there. And we sure hope that this will clear up a lot of things for people in the city who have had questions about what's going on. And if you do want to let us know questions that you may have, there's always the possibility of asking Brenda to come back and answer some specific questions that we may have missed.
Well, that'd be fine. I could do that. I'd be more than happy to. Like I said, there will be something in the paper, and we will be posting about the meeting. And even if you don't see us by the time that we start this formation meeting, I mean, I'm sure that we're always going to need volunteers. We plan to continue on with Christmas Magic and the Jubilee, and we're in hopes that we're going to put together another play for this fall. We've done the golf tournament. I mean, there's many things that we've been doing to raise money and to be visible in the community, and we plan to continue on, just in a little less structured fashion. And hopefully we'll also then embrace other, like I say, other businesses, and be actually a better spokesperson or spokes organization, if you will, for the entire community.
And again, if you do want to volunteer, You don't have to live in the city limits or in the downtown to do that.
That's exactly
You
right.
can volunteer from anywhere, and we'd be glad to have you. Well, thank you again.
Thank you for asking me to come today.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Continue. Well, we're glad that we got a hold of Brenda for that. Now we have a couple of things that are the kinds of things that Channel 9 really can help out. And that's that Miss Marcia Smith had 2 kittens that were lost from Smith Hill, and they are 2 small kittens. One's yellow and one's calico. If you find that kitten, please call Marcia Smith at 3357. And in a similar situation, but the opposite, Charlene Maston has 2 house cats that she has to find a home for and can't keep anymore. And each cat has been neutered and their front paws declawed, and they generally stay in the house. The black and white cat is a male named Louie, and the multicolored cat is female named Lily. So if you could find a good home for either or both of these wonderful family cats, please call Charlene Maston at 549-3473. Charlene lives at 509 North Pearl. So if you're in the 500 block of North Pearl, you may have seen these cats possibly looking out her window at what goes on in the yard. Well, now Farmers Market, again, coming up Saturday from 9 until noon, and this time there ought to be lots of things. Pretty soon we'll be having sweet corn, I bet. So Farmers Market, 9 o'clock till noon in front of Second Chances at 5th and Main. If you have questions, call Jane Dale at 36647. And the Bible School at the United Methodist Church, Liftoff, Soaring to New Heights with God, that Vacation Bible School is half over. So you just have tonight and tomorrow night to attend that Bible school. The time is 5:30 to 8, and there is a bus that will leave from the square at 5:15 in case children need a ride out to the church. You can call the church for more information at 3896, and usually they're there from 8 to 11. But anytime, I'm sure you could show up at the Bible school if you're one of the children, and they'd be glad to register you at that time. Then we were just handed an announcement this morning by the USD 350, and they're having their enrollment Tuesday, August 7th from noon until 7, and Wednesday, August 8th from 10 o'clock to 2 in the South Gym. So very important if you're going to be enrolling children to do it then, August 7th and 8th at the South Gym. Then our friends in Maxville are having the first annual Emergency Personnel Appreciation Picnic. So they plan to do this every year, and this is the first year of that long tradition. So Saturday, August 11th at 5 in the evening at the Maxville City Park, they have beef barbecue, pork sandwiches, potato salad, baked beans, and chips. And all of Stafford County is invited. And so they need volunteers to help take with the food and other things at this event. So if you want to volunteer, call Mary Bates at 348-3320, Alice Tatman at 2376, Eileen Duncan at 5701. So the Emergency Appreciation Day picnic for emergency personnel. Sounds like it should be a lot of fun, and I believe we're going to have really good weather. Then our final announcement is that Peace and Trinity Community Church from Hudson are having their Sunday school picnic. And this is an annual event, and everybody's invited, and it's a good time. And it's going to be Sunday, August 12th at Hudson Community Hall. I know they have had them outside, and sometimes it's just so hot that even the watermelon melts. So it's a good idea. They're having it in Hudson Community Hall instead of outside. There are games and a cakewalk at 5. The food stand is open from 6 to 7:30, and bingo games start at 7:30. So join your friends in Hudson for the Trinity and Peace Community Church's Sunday School Picnic. And that's all the events that I have for you right now to announce. And we have hidden the words for the day, so today we'll just get along without a word for the day and hope that you have a really great Wednesday.